Yeah, sure, but like
no, not every team is not like that.
But I don't think they're as aggressive and as bold as the way the Niners are. So this brings me back to Purdy.
Yeah, I was going to get there.
Okay, I personally believe today the Niners are like, yeah, we're ready to pay Brock Purdy. We're going to give Brock Purdy the money, but don't get it fooled. If there was ever a moment, for example, a Patrick Mahomes became available or whoever Lynch and Shanahan thought was quote unquote better than Purdy, they will go make a move for that guy. So I guess what I'm saying is like we do these things and I do it all. Franchise this left tackle, franchise quarterback. He'll be here for 15 years. With the way John and Kyle operate, every single guy who's great, they're going to be trying to upgrade and get even greater, if that makes sense. And I don't think that means they're not loyal or anything. That's just the way they operate is we are going to try to get the best at every position. Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I thought you was going to go
you thought I was going in another direction?
Well, they did try to upgrade from Purdy. Well, they didn't know if Purdy was going to be able to play week 1 against Pittsburgh. The story came out last year. It came out last season. Kyle Shanahan told Brock Purdy, hey, if I could get Brady, I'm going to go get Brady. I'm going to go to the bench, but I think it'll be good for you to learn from Tom Brady. They tried to go get Tom Brady last season. So, yes, if Purdy struggles, they will be looking to improve. But where I thought you were going to go is now that
and that's not a knock on Purdy.
No, it's not.
I just think I'm talking about the way they view, and Bill Walsh did this too. I have Joe Montana. There's this guy, John Elway, out there in the draft. I might make a move for him.
But see, now I'm starting to think they're done with that move when it comes to Brock Purdy. I think they are going to pay Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think they do believe he's the guy. They found their guy.
For the next couple years.
I think we need to start embracing that as a fan. If you're on the fence about Purdy being a franchise, I've embraced it. He's here because you draft Ricky Pearsall saying, let's give Purdy another weapon and let's surround him with more weapons by bringing in Logan Thomas.
Absolutely.
And you know what? If Aiyuk doesn't work out, we could try to find an upgrade there. The reason why you try to go trade Justin Jefferson, you're trying to get Brock Purdy another elite wide receiver. Know that maybe Aiyuk or Debo may not pan out or may not be here long term. They're already baked in by giving Christian McCaffrey that money, saying, okay, we have our running back and we have our quarterback. George Kittle may be here for a year or two, but we're good there. We can look to upgrade maybe in the future a tight end, not the end of the world. But I feel like they've told us, without really telling us, Purdy's our guy. He's going to get paid for at least the next 3 years.
Exactly. And that was where I'm going. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to keep fielding calls on every spot on the roster.
And
like the JJ thing, I don't know how realistic it was or whatever. Like we all like Aiyuk. Aiyuk's really good. Okay, maybe some people think there's 6 receivers better than him. Some might think there's 14 receivers better than him. We could argue about that. But we all know JJ is clearly better than Brandon Aiyuk.
And they're basically saying, hey, JJ, if we could go get JJ, that's a better weapon for Brock Purdy, and we're paying him with the franchise quarterback.
Absolutely.
And so they're basically telling us when the owner comes out saying he's going to reset the quarterback market, well, Jay York has been true to his word over the last decade. Like, we need to start, I know the Niners haven't won a Super Bowl, but I think we need to start giving Jay York a little more credit here for all the money he's doled out, and he's backed up his words with actions, right? He's done that. So when it comes to Brock Purdy and going out there working out and getting stronger, they've identified it's like, okay, this is our guy. He's running our offense. Yeah. We're going with this guy. And he did not look overwhelmed in that Super Bowl against Kansas City. So I think they're done with that.
Don't you also think that you're talking about the roster that they set up? I feel like in building that roster around Purdy, they've also set up the finances to be able, as they move forward and pay the quarterback, like having the inexpensive skill position player in Ricky Pearsall to eventually take over for one of the higher priced guys. Like, I think that's baked into the equation. Wouldn't you agree with them having a high priced quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think they were going to have money for that anyway, because you can move off of Debo after the season. You can move off of Kittle after the season. So yes, this money right now and the money that could be opened up, because we also don't know if Trent Williams, if this is going to be his last go round, right? We don't know if he's going to retire after the season. He went to Super Bowl. We may say that's it for me. Yeah. I'm looking for that.
Andre Whitworth style. Yeah, it's a good point.
Brock Purdy's going to be here for a while. And I believe they've identified him as our franchise guy. And I think they are starting to believe, because I think I think this could get really nasty.
Why?
I don't know why. Ayuk's not budging. It feels like the 49ers aren't budging. They've given all these extensions out and said, we're going to prioritize Juwan Jennings, Chris McCaffrey, Oldham over Aiyuk. And now, hold on. And so now, with Aiyuk saying, and if, like, I don't feel comfortable giving Aiyuk $30 million, and I may be the biggest Aiyuk fan at this station. I love Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah, I would.
But I don't feel comfortable giving Aiyuk, and not me, but I don't feel comfortable with the 49ers giving him $30 million a year. I don't like that for the cap. I'm just, with the way they run their offense, with the way he gets targets, I just don't think that's worth it. So I'm starting to believe, with the Ricky Pearsall move that they made at the end of the first round, and with the reports coming out that Ricky Pearsall looks like he could be the real deal. Now, we got to wait till training camp. We have to wait till preseason, and he's going to have to face the New York Jets in week number 1, a nasty defense for Robert Saleh. And they have Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, and they're really good. But I'm starting to get this hunch that the 49ers believe that Brock Purdy is so good, they don't need Brandon Aiyuk.
Well, Shanahan's that good, too, as a play caller.
As
when
a
you
play
also
caller.
bake that
But I also think, though, they think that Brock Purdy says, we'll get another weapon, and Brock Purdy will elevate that weapon. I'm now starting to feel like the 49ers believe Brock Purdy could elevate an offense by himself, which is what I'm waiting for, because we didn't see it during the 3-game losing streak last year. And I was wondering, look, can Brock Purdy do it without these guys? And these guys, now you miss Trent Williams and you miss Debo. That's tough to overcome. I get it. But if you have Trent in there and you get rid of Brandon Aiyuk and you see Juwan Jennings make some big plays in the Super Bowl, and you see Debo and they still like Debo, I'm starting to believe they feel like Brock Purdy doesn't need a Brandon Aiyuk to be great. It's just my hunch.
No,
I don't have any facts, nothing like that at all. And I just got a hunch. I feel like this one's going to be nasty, this holdout.
I think it's a combination of things. I think, to your point about their belief in Brock, I think you're right, 100%. And I mean, the film don't lie, right? The guy's been excellent. I think of catering the team with guys who are, zone killers. Like, that's Pearsall's going to do that, and that's perfect. That fits right into the offense and Purdy.
And you know what? Don't forget about Ronnie Bell. I haven't given up on Ronnie Bell.
But here's the other thing, and I also think I think they're evolving in how they build a team. So, like, team structure and finance structure and how you piece it all together under the salary cap, I think they're adjusting their own algorithms about how to build a team. And I think that they're looking at this and they're like, $60 million, give or take, a year for 2 wide receivers on a team that checks down to the running back 65 times a year.
In this
that's
offense,
probably not the best way to spend money.
No, not in this offense. Now, you could get away with it for a season.
That's what I'm saying.
For a season.
But not for 3.
Not for 3.
And I'm looking at, like, Miami, right? Like, Miami. And we all like Miami, right? To me, them paying Waddle and Tyreek Hill tells me I think they're on the fence on paying Tua.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's the reverse. You know what I mean? Them not drawing a hard line on one of those receivers, like that, to me, tells me the reverse. So I'm looking at Purdy again, and I think also Kyle being the play caller, and I think they're looking at Aiyuk, and they're like, hey, look, man, here's the money you're going to make this year. We'll give it to you. You play this year. If it doesn't work out for you financially, Dems the breaks. You're going to get docked pay. We're going to trade you in the offseason.
No, I don't even think they could do that. I think if Aiyuk's unhappy, I could see the Niners trading him mid-season. I don't think Michael Silver's off base. I don't think Michael Silver's off base because I think the Niners believe they have enough to get the job done.
Wow.
They've gone to a Super Bowl without elite. That Super Bowl in 2019, they went with Jimmy Garoppolo, a young George Kittle, a rookie in Deebo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders, and Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne was your leading receiver in the playoffs.
So Shanahan does believe we got Christian McCaffrey. As long as Christian McCaffrey's here, we're going to see 8 in a box, and it's going to open up the pass game. All we got to do is play action pass with Brock Purdy, roll him out the pocket, get him on the perimeter. Boom, I got Debo, Juwan Jennings, Ronnie Bell, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, or maybe Logan Thomas down the field. So I do believe the Niners would be, they've been in the mix on midseason trades. Hell, they traded for Christian McCaffrey for crying out loud. They traded for Chase Young last year. They traded for Randy Gregory last year. There could be a situation in which they do deal Aiyuk midway through the season, or Deebo Samuel midway through the season, and go get some picks and say we can still win football games at a high level.
You're not wrong in the thought process. My retort to you would be those picks won't materialize till March and April of next year in terms of you adding something to your roster. So just looking at your roster, you're not better for this season. If this is one of those last dance, final odyssey, whatever you want to call it, voyages that they're going on as an organization, boy, that would be.
It doesn't help you this season. But again, the 49ers believe they have enough.
Well, they better.
But I know the players want Aiyuk back. I know that for sure.
And quite frankly, if I was Brock Purdy in a contract season, I would want Aiyuk there.
You would
because
think so.
I know having a veteran wide receiver who can help me get open would only help my chances to make money. And that's putting a lot into Ricky Pearsall. And you look, for every Puka Nacua, Puka had a monster year last year. He was spectacular.
What did you think about that? As you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and AC1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app. Don't forget, you can also watch us every single day on our YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter streams, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend. Open a First NorCal First Class Money Market today. What do you think about that? Larry Krueger basically said Purdy and Pearsall could be Stafford and Puka.
I mean, I'm not there. I'm not watching. I trust Larry's eye on that. But at the same time, I would say to him, Stafford throws the ball much, much more in that system than what Kyle and Purdy do, at least on the front end. The other part of that is that, I've seen Kyle with rookie wide receivers, and it's usually a work in progress.
Yes.
Even the Debo rookie year was a work in progress. It was 700 or 800 yards or whatever. The rookie year for Aiyuk was 700 or 800 yards. So, Puka just had one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. That's to say that Pearsall is going to put up those kind of numbers. Now, could they have a rapport like that? Sure. To put up 1,800 yards in his rookie year or whatever, what was it, 1,700 yards?
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And that was also because Cooper Kupp missed a lot of time.
Puka was also a 5th-round pick, Joe. The expectations for Pearsall, he's a first-rounder talent. The expectations with that is a lot more pressure.
Yeah, a lot more pressure.
But I'll say this, though, hey, if Larry's seen something where they're in rhythm, I don't doubt that.
And Puka also had Cooper Kupp alongside of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
that takes a lot of attention. Yeah, the numbers.
He missed
but he did
the
miss
first
some time.
5 weeks.
He did miss some time, but that helps. That does help. And the Rams, they did a great job. That game in week 2, the way they used him against the 49ers, the Niners were playing a lot of zone, and they were eating it up.
I just don't see how the Niners drop back 35 times a game and throw for 5,500 yards.
With that said, moving forward, what receiver would you rather move forward with? Would it be Aiyuk or Debo? And right now, I'm looking at pure wide receiver. I'd rather move forward with Brandon Aiyuk and Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, because the route running does mean something to me.
I'm not ready to move off either of them right now, and I know that's cheating the game.
I'm not ready to.
I want one more year. I want, personally, one more year of the whole crew together. That's what I want.
I would be disgruntled if they moved off Aiyuk and then a year later moved off of Deebo Samuel. That would tick me off.
You are losing. And again, I've been all over the map with Deebo. You're losing a ton of your physicality and identity and character and tone setting. And I know we can talk about him not separating, and there's a lot. But
when he does separate,
when the ball's in his hands.
That's what I'm saying. When the ball is in his hands, you look at that second half against Detroit. Deebo Samuel's dynamic. Hell, Brandon Aiyuk made the great catch, too, down the end zone when he should have been picked